on this computer. Cool. Hey, Lesli, so lovely to see you. Now, everyone, if you don't know Lesli, she stars at Love Nils, and we met through a mutual friend of ours who said we've got to meet because apart from the fact that Leslie's an amazing person, I think my connection with cancer, having gone through breast cancer. Now, Lesli, having gone through breast cancer myself, it was horrible what I went through, but I would go through what I went through a million times over, so my children would never have to go through that. And this being International Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, I know you're doing a lot of stuff, so why don't you start telling us about you and what you're doing?
Oh, thanks, Ellie. It's so nice to see you again on Zoom, and thank you so much for your support to Love Nils. And my journey is, I'm not the one who had cancer, but in 2012, my child Nils was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he was treated here in Singapore at the National University Hospital for lymphoma. And there was a journey of 1 year of multiple different chemo treatments. His twin sister Claire was still attending school. But what I think most people don't know is what happens to children with cancer and cancer patients in general is the isolation. We can all understand that now we're wearing masks all the time, but cancer families wear masks regardless of COVID. They've been doing that for a long time. But Love Nils was set up as a charity that supports children with cancer here in Singapore because my son passed away a year and a half later after he was diagnosed. And I knew the journey was rigorous, but until you're in the journey, you don't know what is actually needed. The medical side of cancer in Southeast Asia is Singapore Central, the best that you can get, I believe. I feel that there's a little bit of lacking and some gaps for the social psychological aspects of it. And that's where Love Nils comes in. We provide the social, the community support, and we do it through the 9 programs that we have available, that we offer to these families, not only to the child, but to the caregivers and to their siblings. So we try to engage them in activities that allow them to have a creative process to share words that maybe they wouldn't do otherwise. So like art therapy, we've got tutors that provide support online for their tutoring education. And we have a care coordinator that manages all this for us at the hospital. So they have someone that they can talk to and look for any outside resources, housing or insurance. But the charity was set up 4 years ago, so we're still quite new, and we were mostly volunteer with myself, but it's grown from 1 and to now we have about 8 core team members, but we have lots of schools that are involved in organizations as wonderful as yours that want to do something about childhood cancer and create that awareness, especially because September is the Cancer Awareness Month for children.
I know. And being a cancer survivor, I didn't even know that month existed. It was only through my daughter's school that I heard about it. So we thought at Fit in That Loft, we really wanted to help. And well, October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I thought, well, September, let's do it right now. So that's why we kind of like got really quickly, we started doing something, and we'd love, we've got some links up for our clients and stuff, but obviously I'd love to be able to share this because if it's international, people can look for it all around the world and help other charities as well. So what do you provide for the children? I know you mentioned something about art therapy and you help families. Well, can you give me some examples?
So when I came back after my son passed away, I went to the hospital and I said, what's your greatest need? And they said a care coordinator. So we were the first charity in all of Singapore to provide funds for a 2-year role in the hospital that would take care of these families' needs. So we donated about $100,000 and that secured that role. Then I knew the other things that always bring smiles to kids are toys. So we started doing toy donations in the community, and then we had a big toy day, and then the kids would come and pick as many toys as they could. Then the next program was a student-led initiative from a school here in Singapore that was our art therapy program, and it was student-led, but then we needed to turn it into more with art therapists that were licensed that could deal with some of these really difficult questions that kids and family members may ask. Then that turned into the education support. So we have a licensed tutoring company that does one-to-one tutoring for these kids because they can't go to school because their suppressed immune system. And with COVID on top of that, that's really not happening anymore for these families. So they do tutoring for the kids, but also their siblings, because siblings lose out a lot. You know, they're the ones that are put on the side where the spotlight's put on that child. And before COVID, we had tickets to events. We call it our calendar of hope, where amazing theater companies would donate tickets, like Wild Rice and MBS would donate to the Lion King. And we would put together 50 to 100 tickets every weekend. And we take these kids down and they would get backstage passes to meet the characters. But it was a day off cancer for the whole family. We've got Nils Pen Pal Project, which is another student-led initiative where people write letters to the kids, the patients and the families and the doctors. So it's just, and we have an art camp that goes on when the kids are off, not going to home-based learning school. So we have a lot of really fun programs that try to get them excited and look. Captain America's coming in 2 weeks. He's zooming into the homes and hospital rooms to find his Avengers, to take them on the amazing race around the world with no passport or SHN required. So we're excited that's going to happen.
I know, I love that event you had a couple of years ago before COVID, the superhero thing with all the, I mean, that's fantastic. Now, so with COVID, because when I spoke to you BC before COVID, and I was really keen on helping, and you did say to me, like, these kids are immunosuppressed. So no one can just turn up and go, hey, hi, how's it going? So it must be even harder with COVID, but has that changed anything?
Absolutely, everything. We haven't been allowed in the hospital since March.
Gosh.
A year and a half ago. So no one's allowed. And the government just put some restrictions about anyone, even family members, going into the hospital. So you can imagine how isolated these kids are. That's when we realized, okay, if we can't do it in person, what are we going to do? So we changed everything up. We arranged it on Zoom. We got some laptops for the hospitals so that the kids in the hospitals can go online. All of our programs are on a bulletin board, and they've got a code with a QR code that the kids can sign up. Their parents can go directly to the site, put in when they want to do art therapy. We've got registered art therapists that do one-on-one with them whenever they want. And same with our tutors. Everything is all on Zoom. I mean, it's sad, but it keeps them safe.
Yeah.
It keeps them away from COVID, but helps them with their immune system, which is really, really severely repressed. But we're hoping that one day we'll get back to normal. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep figuring out ways to bring some joy and happiness to keep them emotionally supported and psychologically supported. We have some other ideas about that type of thing. So we have a car park full of ideas that we'll be able to pull them in as we grow with manpower, but especially funding. We need to have funding in order to support those programs to run, because volunteers can't go in the hospital. So we've got to have some paid staff that run the programs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lonely thing to go through cancer. And if you're a child and you're confused, and there's really, so it must, gosh, just to not be able to have people come and see them, touch them, and be with them. Like, this is remarkable. So we're so ready to help Love Nils. Now, apart from what we're doing, and we've got the box with the ribbon, we've got the QR code on the side, we've got our own in-house thing. I know should they just go to your website to donate?
They can. We have a great platform that's super, super easy to use. Right. And it's super easy for anyone to go into. It's Giving SG, okay. And Love Nils. Just type in Giving SG, type in Love Nils, and you'll see all our campaigns in there. Yeah. We have campaigns that we have initiated, and 3 of them are backed and doubled by the government. So if someone donates $100, the government will match another 100 during COVID, which has been amazing. And then people have started their own campaigns. We have a woman who's a yoga instructor who started a campaign. We have a kid who's 10 who started a campaign who's raised $30,000 for us.
Wow.
I mean, there's no age to what you can do,
Yeah.
but they have their own personal reasons of why they're doing it. And that not only raises funds for us, but it creates a broader audience for us to shine a light on children with cancer during the month of September for Childhood International Awareness Month. But it can go on for, 1 month up to a year. So it's really a powerful platform to use, and it's very accessible, and you can log in at Giving SG and search Love Nils.
Fantastic. Now, when I went to that charity event, you did have some children, and I believe they weren't Singaporean, because you were having children coming in from Southeast Asia, right? I mean, so this is, for me, this is like phenomenal, because you're also helping children from other countries who may not be able to afford it. So it doesn't just affect Singaporean children, but it's would you say a Southeast Asian thing? Asian thing?
Well, I think because Singapore is the medical hub of excellence for childhood cancer, and I mean it, from medically, it is. So a lot of these countries that are third world countries don't have that structure in place. So they come from other countries and they're treated here. And there are even families from other countries in the West, Europe especially, who have they're not getting the treatment they needed. They can't get the clinical trials, so they're coming here. And we've worked with some of those kids, and they're back home and they're in school. So because we work with the two largest hospitals, KKH and NUH, they have multiples of international and local kids. So to us, it doesn't matter whether but as long as they're getting their treatment here, because treatment can last anywhere from a year to 3. And sometimes they can relapse 2 or 3 times. There was a kid that we were working with who was 11, and when he started, and he passed away at 21. So the cancer journey is very arduous and can be quite a long process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think, Leslie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily.
We're going to do our bit, and it's not just going to stop in September. And, I really hope this COVID thing finishes, because you were having some great events like pub quizzes and stuff. I thought, I was really excited about that. But, we're so happy to support Love Nils. And thank you for explaining all this, because I'm sure there are people who haven't heard about you and how amazing you are and what you're doing. So thank you very much.
Yeah, so just log on to any of our platforms on social media, LinkedIn, IG, or Facebook, and look up Love Nils. We have all of our activities. We're getting ready to do a walkathon game, Get Fit with Love Nils, the Amazing Race, probably sometime in December. That will be a toy drive driven thing where people can walk to a toy store and clock in their hours and then drop off a toy after they bought it at Toys R Us. Nice. And then we're going to do another fundraiser like the event that we had, but it'll be a virtual one. And I think it's going to be the Amazing Race with Love Nils, where you don't have to wear a mask. So that will happen on November 20th. So keep a lookout on our Facebook pages, and you can see all the kids that you help, all the smiles that you bring, and all the heartwarming things that you do for these kids. So I thank you. God bless you. And I really appreciate you and all your fan support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right, cheers. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.